Friends, family, fans, it's back to another episode of Back 9 Bets, episode 94. Babbling about Brooks. For those of you that don't know where that reference is, it's a Babbling Brooks. It's the freaking Masters. It's the best bet show. We're going to be speaking about our outrights, our placements. We're going to look for a few matchups potentially. And then at the end of the show, we are going to look through the little cheat sheet that will be coming out this evening with Breaking 100, where you can get your hands on a bet for every single one of the 88 golfers in the field. Yes, I'm a sicko. Yes, this is the Masters week. Yes, we're all trying to find a signature piece. Mine is, I guess, finding a bet for every delinquent dude in the field. And that's how it goes. You know, I would put out an article about every single golfer in the field and how to bet them, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't quite work out that way. Everyone's got all their stuff out there. So I'm just doing my thing, trying to get it to you guys in a way that you can digest. So go check that out at rotoball.com. Use code MANIAC for 10% off. Or if you want 30% off, I guess use code MASTERS. We are up and running with a 30% promo. There we go for you guys. So just wanted you to know, Tyler in the house, wanted you to know you were in my ear about the whole day of Monday with the researcher. Tyler, what a marathon. I appreciate you listening to that. I appreciate myself for doing it for 6 hours 40. It was a day, man. We had some fun. It's the Masters. I'm willing to do that for everything. By the way, that's the best video views-wise I've ever had on my channel. 600 views as of this morning, which is almost double what I've ever had. So I appreciate every single one of you that went out and watched that show. I love y'all. You guys rock. So this is episode 84 of Back 9 Bets, babbling about Brooks. We got the Masters. We're rocking the Cam Smith Penguin shirt. We are looking delightful with the mullet, I must say. Just had to shave the beard, so it's going to be tricky on the lower neck going forward, but it's a sacrifice we are willing to make. Some fun news about my life. It's the Masters week. I try to do some honey-do list stuff and take care of the water filter down in the cellar right beneath me. I go down there. I try and fiddle with the filter. It's like fused shut because it's been so long since I've done it. I twist and snap the two water lines right off each other. So now our entire house is shut down with water because I cocked it up. So I had to try Sunday night, instead of doing some fun golf research, I'm busy fiddling and fixing a water filter underneath me, which is still leaking. So we have to turn the water on in the house to take a shower, take a dump, and then it's all gone. So the week of the Masters has been a bit of chaotic for me, but this is how it's going to be. The weather looks like it's going to be that way too. We went through all the key stats and saw what is going on. So you know exactly what you need. Distance off the tee, par 5 scoring, long iron approach play from 150 and out. You're looking for around the green blissfulness. You want to be tidy as balls around there. And you want to make sure you can avoid the 3 putts on these big greens. Keeping it under par is going to be tricky. We're going to see what these guys can get up to. The weather's going to be brutal. Lots of rain, lots of wind, lots of electricity in the air. It's the Masters. Let's get into it. We are going to dive into the model because we don't have to do a whole bunch of kind of prefacing with regards to how we want to go about it, because you watched the research show, all 600 of you. I thought Paige had got a wicket. The beast researcher was a different gravy. The what? I'm so confused. What? Oh, maybe me. What on earth is going on there, Mike? That message has a lot going on. So I took my glasses off. I'm going to put them back on so I can see my screen. I'm getting old. I've been staring at the screen for too many hours, for too many days in a row. So this is it. We're going old man school. I just needed you guys to see me without them to start the show. Let's do this beautiful thing. So first up on the board, we've got a Scottie Scheffler top 10 at minus 105. This is just how it's going to go. Scottie Scheffler, we have to get exposure to this dude one way or another, and I'm lying to you already. First guy we're speaking about, Scottie Scheffler, we're going to bet him for a top 10, and it's going to be a top 10 at minus 210. This is our very first bet. We're going to go down the model or down the DFS ranks and see how it goes. Scottie finds himself number one in the model. Surprise, surprise. Scottie finds himself looking to do things at Augusta, which he continues to do. He's been the most profitable top 10 bettor in the field. If you've bet him to win $100 in the top 10 market every week, you would have won $1,004 over the last 12 months. You would have also won $1,150 betting him in the top 20 market, just shy of 800 in the top 5. So you are going to be making your money back if you've been betting Scottie Scheffler long-term, regardless of his odds being minus 210 for a top 10. What that tells us is it's implying odds of 68% at minus 210. Scottie Scheffler finishes inside the top 5 in majors. Sorry, we're talking about top 10s. In majors, Scottie finishes inside the top 10 at a 64% clip. It's telling us 68. But remember, he started off slow. And then in general, Scottie Scheffler's finishing inside the top 10 in his last 20 starts 80% of the time. So 16 of those starts were top 20s for Scottie. It's an absolute no-brainer around this golf course. He's finished 19th, 18th, 1st, and 10th. And since winning it in 2022, we've seen a totally different Scottie Scheffler. He's won 2 of his last 3, finishing second at the Houston. He's coming in with incredible form. The ball striking is amazing. Top 10 seems like a very likely outcome at minus 210. Let's see what Scottie Scheffler can get up to. We also have another bet for him, which we'll chat about in our bets for all 88 golfers and go from there. We're not chatting about Jon Rahm. We're not going to be chatting about Rory. We are going to be chatting about Brooks, who is next up on our betting card. He is the name of the show, Babbling Brooks, baby. We're going to chat about him, babble on about Brooksy, and see what he can get up to. When it comes to this dude, there's not a lot of stats that I'm going to show you that kind of tells you what's going on. I'm just going to explain to you that this guy has got 14 top 10s in majors since 2017. Maybe I can even find this. Do I even have it up? I do. I do indeed. Here we go. So take a look at this wonderful thing. If we're taking a look at let's just go top 4s, because that to me is just an incredible number. If we go filter on Brooks Koepka since 2017, he has got 10 top 4s since then in majors. The next best is Jon Rahm, who's got 6. So we're going to be betting Brooksy for a top 5. We bet him each way at 22-1. So I think we got it at 4-way splits and jumped in on that department. So you want to make sure you get in on Brooks for the outright, for the top 5. Make sure that that is on the card for you. Sipping on some Keystones. I hope you guys are enjoying a nice, delightfully cold beverage yourselves. So this is the situation with Brooksy. As you can see, we've got 4 major wins since 2017. We got a 5th one on the other side of that year. I'm not entirely sure if it was 16 or 14 or 15, but on the other side of that database range, there's 1 more major. So just looking at the most recent years from 2017, Brooks has got 8 wins or 8 second-place finishes in those starts. Like, this is exactly what we're looking for. When I did some research on Waco Neiman, we found out that 17 of the last 19 golfers to win the USO, let me try that one more time. 17 of the last 19 winners of the Masters and the Open Championship finished second or first in a major prior to that win. We've got about a casual, I think it was 90% of golfers who finished inside the top 9, or 80% of golfers to win a major finished inside the top 9 at some point in their life. So you have to have finished inside the top 10 of a major to pretty much have a shot at winning it. You don't kind of just come out of nowhere and win a major. So these are all the guys. You can go and find this. I've pasted this in my model. You can grab that, use code MASTERS for 30% off. And the PGA paired up Brooks with Harman. I know. We were chatting about this. It's going to be a very interesting situation. Someone asked me about the pace of play. When it starts the tournament, when they go off in these 3 balls, there's another guy also involved. It's difficult for a threesome to get like behind. It's just going to be the rhythm of the pace of play is going to be slower, which is going to be interesting to monitor with old Brooksy. So it is a concern. I would have preferred a baller pairing for him, but you know what? It is what it is. He's going to be paired with the Open champion, so it is what it is. I think Brooks has shown far too much form in the majors. If we take a look at his recent form coming in here, we've got a second, 2 missed cuts, a seventh, and a second. If we get anything either side of the 2022, 2021 years, we are looking good for Brooks. He is a phenomenal major golfer. There's nobody quite like him who can flip the switch as well as he can in these big events. It's incredible to see what he's done. We'll wait and see. 22-1, 20-1 out there. It makes no sense. We've got other odds, folks, where we've got Ludwig Aubert, the same price. There's some odds that overlap with Ludwig, the same price as Brooks in a major. This is Brooks Koepka, who's got 10 top fours in majors, and Ludwig having not played in a single one. There are some books that you can find where Ludwig and Brooks have the same odds. For instance, I guess Ludwig's moved back down to like 20. There's 22s out there on Ludwig, and there are 20s on Brooks. Like, that to me is just incredible. What's going on, Darbo? Welcome to the party. It's Back 9 Bets, episode 94, babbling about Brooks, and we are chatting about him for an outright. So as you can see, he's at the top of the pack for high-end finishes in majors. So you're going to give me a guy that is all the way down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth in the betting odds. I'm totally for that. Guys ahead of him are these dudes: Rory, Jon Rahm. We've got Xander Schauffele, who's never won a major, significantly ahead of Brooks Koepka when it comes to odds. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on. We've bet Xander for top 20s in every single major at plus 850. I think that's a very fair bet. And just as a little teaser for getting to our bet for every golfer, we've also bet Xander Schauffele to be in the final pairing at plus 850. I feel like that's kind of a mini hedge to see if you can get Xander in the mix. I feel like he's going to find himself in that final pairing, potentially for another letdown again. So we'll see what Xander can get up to. Back to the model, we're going to be betting Brooks basically for a top 5 as well. I bet him with 5 places. So that's the situation there. Brooksy will be looking for his first Masters win. He'll be looking to make it number 6 in the major column, which is an incredible feat. Once he gets the Masters, it will just be the Open Championship that he has to win. If you think he's not thinking about a Grand Slam, you've got it incorrect. And we can probably chat about Rory and the reason why we're not entirely excited about him. Maybe we bet him top 10. I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to keep my card rather small this week, kind of just lean into Scottie, lean into Brooks. I think Rory's expectations are just through the roof right now. It's not an easy thing to win the Masters. It's not an easy thing when winning the Masters puts you in the same realm as Bobby Jones, as Gary Player, as Jack Nicklaus, as Tiger Woods, Gene Sarazen. I think those are all the names that have completed the career Grand Slam for all 4 majors. That's what Rory McIlroy is trying to do with this year's Masters. And since snap hooking it into the trees on hole 10, his chances have just pretty much plummeted through the floor of ever winning this tournament. So the scar tissue is building year by year. It's going to take a behemoth of an effort for him to win this thing from a mental standpoint. He's got every physical skill set required. We'll have to wait and see what his mental capacity is. So Brooksy, that's why we like him. The odds, when you're going to give me Brooks Koepka, who's won now more majors than Rory McIlroy, sucking it up on live. I saw he went to the mallet. He's now back to the blade, the old trusty beauty. It's go time, man. So top 5 for Brooks, 22-1. Let's see what we can do. This mullet, I don't know how people play with mullets. They are like so itchy. We will get to Cam Davis here shortly, Miles. He's shortly down the leaderboard here, I'm imagining. We'll get to him in a bit. But Wyndham Clark, in my opinion, what did we mention about last little while? No course history, fading the betting market, maybe DFS if ownership is fine. The thing about Wyndham is that he finds himself hitting a ginormous fade around a golf course that is typically favored lefties, which means you have to hit a draw because lefties hit fades. Nowadays, we know every professional golfer that has intense ball speed typically hits that knuckly fade. Wyndham does so too at 190 miles an hour. He's going to have to wrap a few 3-woods around those trees with the draws if he's looking to compete this week. So he's the highest priced golfer of the debutants. In my opinion, there wasn't a betting market that I would fancy him in at all. I don't want to touch him from a debutant standpoint. I know he's playing great. I know he's done amazing things in the majors. He's won the US Open, but we're out on him. Just because of that fade, just because of the debutant. Xander Schauffele, we were eyeing out a top 20 to bet him. But the problem with Xander and what I'm expecting with this wind is it's like going to be so windy, and Xander in the wind, in my opinion, is not the greatest. He typically kind of finds himself going down the leaderboard as the wind blows the guys off the course. We saw at the Houston Open, he was struggling in that department. Couldn't quite get it together. That course suited him perfectly the moment the wind starts blowing. Xander seems to struggle. So I'm not entirely sure I'm going to be betting Xander to start off with. Maybe as the event unfolds, we can find a live opportunity to kind of dive in on him there. There's always likely going to be that one round where he gains like half a stroke on the field versus the 2-3 that we need in order to get into that contentious spot. So that's the consideration for Xander. We're going to be looking to bet him live once the wind subsides. Joaquin Niemann, we decided we're going to potentially bet him top 20, but he's only had one top 20 in his major, which is incredible to think about. I don't know what to do about this dude. He's going to be very, very popular. I think half the world's in on him at minus 120. Why would you not go to him in the top 20 market just to kind of protect yourself? If you are playing some DFS, you can get that minus 120. I will be fading Joaquin at $9,600, potentially playing the likes of Victor in that range. Maybe some Jordan Spieth, but I think Spieth said he's re-injured his hand again. So we'll have to see how that all goes. But we're not here to talk about fades. We got to talk about guys we are playing. And another name that we will be betting this week is Will Zalatoris. We have a 49-1 for him in our futures market. There's 45s out there right now. That number has drifted significantly since the Houston Open. Seems like he kind of struggled out there just with the putter. If it was like the ball striking that went completely sour, it is what it is. We all suck every now and then. The putting can go. It can come. Guess what? Will Zalatoris is the second best putter at Augusta. He's the seventh best putter in majors. He's played 33 rounds of major golf, and he's the seventh best putter. If we take a look at Will Zalatoris from a strokes gained putting perspective, who is better than him in the majors? We are scrolling and scrolling around here in the model, but hey, major strokes gained putting. Justin Rose will likely be at the top. Yes, there he is. Denny McCarthy, there answers your question, Mike. Yeah, Denny whipping some low draws around the house of Texas that's not the right one. There we go. That was a sight to behold. Beautiful sight. Second in strokes gained putting in majors. Third up is broken. Isn't this hilarious? Minwoo Lee broke his finger 10 days ago. He's third in putting in majors. Sam Burns, fourth in putting. Eric Cole, Cam Smith, and then Willie Z. So that is incredible for Will Zalatoris to have gained just shy of what Cam Smith has in majors. Putting is incredible. So we'll see what these guys can do. I'm excited to play a little bit of Eric Cole as well later on. We can get there. But Will Zalatoris, just in case you think he's a bad putter, yes, he is typically. Yes, it wasn't pretty to look at. But when it comes to majors, even with the normal putter, he was balling out. Now he's got the broomstick. Those short 50-50 putts from about 4 feet, 5 feet are not nearly as testy as they once were. So give me Willie Z in a major. If we just take a look at strokes gained in majors, Will Zalatoris is going to find himself right up in the mix there. A lot of the model this week was dealing with major strokes gained because I don't have any recent form for these guys. So I had to find a way to kind of level the playing field. And this was the way to do it. So we have major strokes gained in the model. And I can find Willie Z just by filtering on the smallest because he pops up number one in his 33 rounds, which is even more than Scottie Scheffler in his 56. So really impressive stuff from Willie Z. The approach play and the ball striking the last little while has been fine. We'll have to wait and see with regards to the putting, but it's typically been fine around Augusta. He likes these big tournaments. For him, he's basically a miniature version of Brooks Koepka, where the mindset in these majors just completely changes. And like I mentioned, you need to have finished second or first for me to have you on my betting card. And he has finished second in his debut appearance of the Masters. I think he's also had multiple other second place finishes in majors just in his very short run. Here he is here with 3 second place finishes in majors. So he's still looking for that illustrious major victory. Who the heck knows? This is the first major, or at least the first Masters he'll be playing where he has a PGA Tour victory, which he typically hasn't had before. So maybe that helps him out with a little bit of confidence, knowing he belongs there, can take down the Masters. So love to see what Willie Z's up to. As you can see, all of his metrics trend in the right direction when it comes to major performances. That's what he does. In majors, he finishes inside the top 10 56% of the time. 1/3 of the time, he's inside the top 5. That's incredible. So we love Will Zalatoris. We'll also be betting him for a top 5. He is plus 750. It was my bronze bet, I believe, on the Pat Mayo show with Cam, which, by the way, comes out at midnight tonight, Eastern time. Cam was hungover and getting drunk on the show again. It was chaos. It was utter chaos. It was one of the craziest Pat Mayo shows I've done in a while, and it was a sight to behold. We had some seriously fun. I think Cam told me he loved me more than my wife has in the last little while. It was a good time. So I hope you guys look forward to that show coming out tonight on the Pat Mayo Experience. So Willie Z, top 5 plus 750, and the win at 45 to 1 out there right now. We've got a 49 over at Circa from a while ago. So this is the situation. Next up on the board is going to be, once it filters on our situation here, Hideki Matsuyama. We're going to be betting Hideki Matsuyama, another one of my bets that I did on the Mayo show, at minus 130 for a top 20. Hideki Matsuyama, folks, in his last 9 Masters tournaments, has 8 top 20s. What? 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 8 top 20s in his last 9 Masters tournaments. Hideki Matsuyama, minus 130 for a top 20 at Augusta. That is a 57% implied probability. What on earth is a casual 8 of 9? What is that in an odds world? I should know this kind of situation, but it is 89%. So 8 of 9 is 89%. He is implied a 57% probability of finishing inside the top 20. And not only has Hideki done this while being Hideki of old, where he wasn't necessarily the best golfer in the world, we are starting to see an Hideki Matsuyama who's finished 22nd, 1st, 12th, 6th, and 7th in his last few starts. A win and 3 top 12s in addition. It's been moving in the right direction. He's had, 4 consecutive top 20s. Now we go to a place he's had 8 out of his last 9 top 20s. Minus 130, Hideki Matsuyama. This is a smash play, in my opinion. He's around the green play. What is exceptionally important around Augusta is ARG. You got to make sure you can get up and down around the greens. Hideki Matsuyama takes the hell care of that. If you take a look at around the green play in 2024, nobody better on the PGA Tour than Hideki Matsuyama. He's first in that department. The putting has been shit, 76th in a field of 86 or so, 88 guys. So that's not ideal, but you know what? He's missed a few short ones here and there. The iron play is starting to move in the right direction. When it comes to hitting irons in majors, Hideki Matsuyama is a major freak. In fact, I've got a 46 to 1 on Hideki Matsuyama at the US Open, where if you take a quick filter on all the best strokes gained at a specific golf tournament for all the different 4 strokes gained areas, off the tee, approach, around the green, putting, Sam Burns, I was doing this for the Valspar to see how Sam Burns is putting at the Valspar typically translates to everybody else's strokes gained metrics at other venues. And only one other person had gained more strokes gained than Sam Burns in another area, and that's Hideki Matsuyama on approach at US Opens. Hideki Matsuyama, I think he's gained like 19 strokes on approach in the last 2 US Opens. It's been incredible. So US Opens is where he comes to party on the ball striking front. And I just actually want to make sure that I'm 100% correct about that, because I don't want to mislead you on the 19 thing, but it's a lot. I'm going to pull it up right now for you guys. US Opens. So he gained a quick little 2.33 in the last one, which times by 4 is 10. And then in 2022, he gained 2.35. So that's another. So true strokes gained, it's over 10 per US Open. It's over 20 in that span. Incredible stuff. I don't know how he does it. It's just unbelievable in these US Opens. And yet we've only had we had a 4th and a 32nd in those 2 appearances. Prior to that, we had another 1.3 strokes gained, 1.9 strokes gained, 1.56 strokes gained. So that's 20 rounds of golf that we've got where his worst approach week was 1.3 strokes gained. It's just incredible. So Hideki Matsuyama at the US Open 46-1. I know this is the Masters show, but just thought I'd mention that this guy loves himself a Masters. He loves himself a major. He's playing great, and I think it's the way to go. By streets, he's been playing decky art. Yes, he's been playing some mind games. The Japanese injury reports on Yahoo are about as fictitious as J.K. Rowling's 3rd Harry Potter book. You can barely believe half the mythical creatures and injuries that show up. But I guess, walking around Bay Hill with a leg that you couldn't even feel gets you to finish inside the top 20. So be it. I guess that's what Hideki does. He's a liar, but we're going to bet him at top 20. I really wanted to bet him at like 25, 35 to 1. I've missed that boat. Now we've got the FOMO. That's why we're going to the top 20 bet to kind of hedge our situation there. Scooting on down, why are we filtered on? Oh, we're on just random things over here. Models frozen. That's okay. Once it starts moving again, we're going to filter things around. Since it's frozen on Cam Smith, let's maybe chat about him. Cam Smith, there's 55 to 1s out on Cam Smith right now. The reason we're rocking the mullet, the reason we're rocking the polo, we hit Cam Smith every single time he won in 2022. We hit him at the Century. We hit him at the Players. We hit him at the Open Championship. This is the Cam Smith we love. We miss him so very much. In majors, Cam Smith has been doing quite nicely, finishing inside the top 20 in 32% of his starts. So about 1 in every 3rd is a top 20. Remember, Cam wasn't quite the golfer we kind of know about him now. He's got 88 rounds of golf in majors. So it goes back a long way. If you take a look at his more recent majors, it's much better. Obviously, he's won the Open, obviously found himself inside the top 10 at the US Open, LACC, and the PGA Championship. We'll see what Cam can get up to. I think at 55 to 1, you can't not bet this dude. He may be sick, he may be whatnot, but at that number, this is Cam Smith. This is Cam Smith that has finished in recent Masters 2nd, 10th, 3rd. The 3rd was basically, he was in the final group with Scottie Scheffler and tried to win the tournament and ended up finishing 3rd, basically what Rory did at the Open Championship. I think Cam, if he can find any sort of form in some scrappy weather, maybe he can take care of business for us. I understand his recent form is shit. Liver's done him dirty, but we aren't quite done with him. I love Cam Smith. We're going to be betting him at 55 to 1. It is what it is. So be it. We won't be betting him in any other placement markets. He's too volatile in that regard, but he's our guy. We'll definitely be playing him in DFS as well, because I don't think the ownership is going to be that high. Let's see. What do we write about him? 4 top 10s in 6 most recent starts. Top 10 bet. Are we doing that with Cam? I guess he's finished inside the top 10 here so often. He's plus 240 for a top 10. That's what you're getting at Augusta. I don't mind that though, but we've heard some weird stuff. So this is what I wrote on Friday night. It is now Tuesday. We'll see. I don't think I'm going to be doing it, though. Justin Thomas, I'm going to be monitoring. I like him without bones. I like him for a top 20, potentially as a live ad. I like him as an outright live ad. That's where we're going with that. So Cam Smith, folks, back to him. I just want to wrap up this. The putting and the short game can win him any tournament. We saw him lose 5 strokes around Sawgrass and still win. Whether or not he's going to find that kind of form, I don't know. But 55 to 1 is a price that's very affordable to give you a peek, to get you behind the curtain. You never know what you're going to see, but you're not going to see anything if you don't pay to get there. And that's what Cam Smith at 55 to 1 does. This could be a blessing from the golf gods. We've obviously got a major win. We've obviously got second place finishes. Cam Smith, folks. That's where we're going. 55 to 1. I've got a 29 to 1 that's sitting in my freaking account right now that I couldn't cash out. I don't know. Things have gone south. It's happened both times heading into the Masters since moving to Live. His odds have plummeted the week of, like badly, like higher, as in cheap, which is not good when you've got futures on a guy 2 years in a row. So that's the situation there. Next up on the slate, we got the caddy saying stay away from Live players this week. Seriously, not one will even be placed. I don't know, man. I think the Live guys obviously have played well at the Masters in the past, so you would definitely have to play them. You'll probably not do the greatest if you're playing DFS without any Live golfers in your player pool. Moving on to our next guy and our final bet for the outright card, it's Matthew Fitzpatrick. The funniest, craziest thing, not the funniest, craziest thing, but something that I noticed when doing this bet with him was if you take a look at strokes gained at the Masters, he's 30th in the field. Yes, that's cool, whatever, 28 rounds of golf. He's gained the second most total strokes off the tee at Augusta, has Matthew Fitzpatrick. John Rahm, in his several rounds around there, gains the most. Then Cameron Young, then Rory McIlroy, then Luke List. Incredible. Fitzy sitting there. This was like timid, small little Fitz, short, accurate hitting Fitz. He's played 28 rounds of golf around Augusta. In his recent starts at Augusta, we've got a 21st, a 46th, a 34th, a 14th, and a 10th. We are moving in the right direction since picking up distance with the 14th and the 10th place finishes. We are also moving in the right direction with the 21st, a 5th, and a 10th in his last 4 starts. That's good to see. There are a few miscuts either side of that. It's not ideal. He is a bit of a volatile golfer. He'll show up, he won't. But at $7,900, at 40 to 1, we're in. Sign us up for Fitz. Sign us up for a top 20 at plus 115, which gives us a 1% edge, which is fine considering how bad he played to start the 12-month period that's in our database. We'll accept that. He finishes top 20 in majors 35% of the time, which is 13% less than he does on tour. He would have lost you $1 betting him top 20s over the last 12 months for Fitzy. So we get some nice numbers. We get a positive odds for the top 20. We get Fitzy at 40 to 1. We get a US Open champion, another guy. Now remember, we've got all these guys that we've bet. Cam Smith has won a major. Brooks has won a major. Matthew Fitzpatrick has won a major. Will Zalatoris has not won a major, but has 3 second-place finishes in majors. That's what we're looking for in our Masters champions selections. Other golfers, woo, do I have that somewhere over the rainbow? I have a thing for just the top 2s, I think. Yeah. These are the names. This is it. I will move this over so you can see it nicely. But these are golfers who have finished first or second in majors since 2017. There are only 13 golfers of the 88 that have done this in the field. Brooks. And I guess, where's Tiger? I think I just took Tiger out because I didn't want to, it's a mess. But, so call it 14. Brooksy has done it 8 times. Obviously, we've spoken about that several times. Scottie Scheffler, 3, first or seconds. We've got obviously 1 Masters win. two runner-ups elsewhere. Will Zalatoris, a runner-up at the Masters, the PGA, and the US Open. Cam Smith, Masters Open Championship. Xander, Masters Open Championship. Tom Kim has an Open Championship runner-up, folks. Hideki Matsuyama, he's got a first place finish at Augusta in 2021. He's a 2021 guy. Jason Day had a second place finish at the Open in 2023, I believe. Matthew Fitzpatrick, US Open champion. Justin Thomas won the PGA Championship. Gary Woodland, a US Open champion in 2019. Cam Young, second place at the Open, and Shane Lowry, the Open champion. Those are the only names that have finished first or second in a major over the last several years, call it the last 6-7 years. These are likely the only guys that I think, based off of what I've looked at, will win this tournament. So we've got Brooks, we've got Willie Z, we've got Cameron Smith, and we've got Matthew Fitzpatrick. So we've got 4 of the 14 guys. I don't know if Shane Lowry's ever going to win a golf tournament again. Cameron Young may win his first golf tournament as a PGA professional in a major. We've got Gary Woodland, who seems to chip well in majors. I don't know, for some reason. I don't know if I'll trust him, though. Justin Thomas lost his caddy. We got Matty Fitz. Jason Day was playing nicely last year and then got vertigo. Hideki Matsuyama is a FOMO bet, but we got him for a top 20. Tom Kim is volatile as balls. I don't know. I'll probably play him in DFS again. I just love going back to the guy for pain. He's not looking good right now. So this is what the thought process is when looking to bet these outrights. And I think it's important to make sure you have a solid strategy, a solid philosophy going forward when you are doing all of this kind of stuff. So that's that. Let's chat about a few other bets that we've got going on here. One of my other favorite bets, folks, is Phil Mickelson as the top senior. When I placed this bet, there were -140s at DraftKings. If you take a look at what these guys have got up to that he's going up against, it's kind of bizarre. Phil Mickelson has to beat $7,000 Phil has to beat 4 other $6,000 golfers. Right now, over at FanDuel, you can find top senior for Phil Mickelson at -120. He has to beat Mike Weir, who's made the cut one time in 2020 in the last 5 years. So that's his only cut he's made. Vijay Singh has not made a cut in 5 years. Freddie Couples made the cut and I believe was the oldest man to ever do it. Last year, finished 50th. Phil Mickelson finished second. When Jose Maria Olazabal made the cut in 2021, Phil also did and finished 21st. So I have a good feeling Phil is going to finish in the cut. He's going to make the cut this week. The likelihood that this bet is settled, at least with 3 of the 4 guys we're going up against, is very good before the weekend shows up. Whether or not Phil makes the weekend is yet to be determined, but he typically finds his groove at Augusta. I know he's been playing like ass over the last little while, but his happy place, his safe haven is Augusta. I think even if he doesn't make the cut, he just has to beat these other guys, which I think is a very doable thing. I think I'll be going back again at FanDuel for another helping of that -120. I think that's the way to go. It's the pricing just shows you they couldn't make these guys cheaper. The 4 other dudes he has to play up against. They've got 3 made cuts in the space of 5 years combined. Phil Mickelson's got 3 top 20s, 3 top 21s. Like, to me, this is it's a smash play. I don't know what's going on there. I understand Phil's playing like shit, but again, we go here. He's younger than them by a landslide. He's barely a senior. Give me Phil Mickelson, yeah. That's that bet. Speaking of very random situations, and it's on the same card as us, Freddie Couples, if we are looking to go to a bet that would be for Freddie Couples, we're going to jump to our final few bets here, but this is one of my favorites. Freddie Couples, top 20 after round 1 is 14-1 at ESPN. It's like 7-1, 8-1 in other places. So it's basically double out there. To me, that seems like a bet that you want to take advantage of. Those numbers are ridiculously high. if you take a look at what Freddie Couples has done in the first round of the last few Masters, I think he's gained over a stroke in 3 of them. One of them was more recently. I think he must have played nicely to have made the cut when he did last year. I don't think I have the vault open, which is probably for the best. So no, we don't. But that's fine. What we do know is he plays nicely in round 1, typically. This is what Freddie Couples gets up to. So at Augusta, he could absolutely do it. He's a long-hitting son of a gun. I know he's getting older and older, but he's typically got one good round in him before the back packs up. Hopefully he can take advantage of it. 14-1 is what we're paying to like kind of get a ticket to the dance with Xander Schauffele to win the Masters. All we need is Freddie Couples, multiple-time Masters winner, I think multiple-time, to finish inside the top 20 after round 1 at 14-1. For me, this is what the Masters is all about, is finding these old guys. I would love betting Bernard Langer to make the cut bets. He was so underrated in that department. Old dude just hacking it around there 270 yards a pop, while the rest of the gang is hitting at 320 down the middle. It's always fun to see. So that's what I like about the Masters. We're going to be betting Freddie Couples for a top 20 after round 1 at 14-1 ESPN. That's where the best odds are out there. Definitely. Let's do a quick stock count. I think I've mentioned pretty much everything I want to, so we can get to this fun portion of the show. I'm going to bring up the Stat Buffet model that is out here. So this model is available to premium subscribers of rotoballer.com for the PGA channel. For PGA, Rotoballer PGA subscribers get this. The main model is right over here. The model we've been looking at, you can grab this from my article from the PGA Stat Buffet, which is in the link of the description on the YouTube channel right now. You can grab that, use the Masters code for 30% off, and then this is all yours. This is right in the article. You can download it, make it your own, make a copy, all that stuff. All the instructions are over here. I've got my model, which has got everything in it, what we've been going through. I've got the 12-month betting returns for these guys over the last little while. Everyone in this field, you filtered by the most important to most profitable to the least profitable. Then I've got finishes in majors, another thing that we looked at earlier. So this is all in here. And then I've got this little tool that we are going to be using. Just if you are a complete degenerate like I, now we're going to go through every single golfer and see like what bet we could place randomly if we felt like it. And then we're gonna find a few that we really like and place them as well as secondary bets. We've got our handful of Scotties. We do have one more bet actually that I do want to mention that I totally forgot about, and it's Shane Lowry for a top 20. Shane Lowry, he has in his last few Masters, take a look here, 2020, 25th, 21st, 3rd, and 16th. So in his last 4, he's finished 25th or better for old Shano. Yeah, let me get you guys in the screen. Shane Lowry's been playing some solid golf in these majors. So we like Shane. We like to drink with Shane. We like to have Shane on the betting card for top 20s when he's playing good golf. If we take a look at what he's been up to over the last little while, here's Shane Lowry's profile. He's plus 130 for a top 20, which, by the way, DraftKings is paying ties in full now. Thank you. Their odds are, I wouldn't even take a look at the odds not paid in full. Okay, that's just what I'm telling you. The mathematics behind the difference and how it pays off, to me, isn't worth it. Bet the ties paid in full regardless. I've checked out the differences. There's not enough big enough edges to go the other route. You want to make sure that you guys are cashing your bets for sure. The caddy says here on Twitter, Scheffler, Matsuyama, or Schauffele, the 3 hottest players, those are likely going to be the winners. They check the boxes, obviously. I don't disagree. I think Hideki's playing some good golf, but I like Brooksy. We obviously like Brooksy. Talking about Shane Lowry quickly, though. Take a look at what he's been up to since the Phoenix Open. So we've got 3 top 10 finishes, 37th and 28th. That is Sahith Theegala's, which I try to jump all the way. I didn't even put the correct banners on here, folks. We got to chat about two more guys. We're trying to speak about Shane Lowry, who I bet top 20 because I know he had 3 consecutive top 20s recently, as well as his 4 runs of top 25s at the Masters. So we like Shane for that. We also like Shane in round 1 for round 1 showdown, if you are playing that. He's played great golf at the Masters. He's played solid golf in the majors, obviously. He's played, just fantastically on approach entering the week. Whether or not he can putt here is yet to be determined. We can actually even answer that question for ourselves right now. Shane Lowry's putting at the Masters has been the 18th best in the field, which is always good to know. Now, we do have a bunch of debutants and things like that, which aren't going to show up, but it's much better than his 43rd or whatever that he's been doing this year. So hopefully he can bounce back on the greens 63rd this year. But the ball striking will take us to the promised land for the top 20 bet for Shane Lowry. And then we're also going to be doing Sahith Theegala. We are betting his ass for a top 5 and for a top 10. He, in his debut appearance, finished 9th at Augusta. He's had 3 top 10s in 3 big events at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, at the Players, and call it the Waste Management Phoenix Open, where he dominated in the bad weather. Had he played against only the guys who face the same weather elements as him, he would have won that tournament. Everybody else that beat him went off in the nicer wave. His candle was just burnt to the wick. The base was burnt, finished, kaput, klar. But what we will be doing with Sahith, top 10 plus 350, top 5 plus 800. That's the way he likes it. And for top 5s, he's $85 return. For top 10, he's $115. He's profited you money in every single betting market. Win top 5, top 10, top 20. And just because my ADD is kicking in and because I'm a nerd, I'm actually going to figure out exactly how many people have actually done this. We want to make sure we're going to see a greater than 0 to make sure that we've got all of those. I want to see if everyone, I know Scottie Scheffler's lost you money in the winning market, so he's not going to show up. Wow, there's actually quite a few guys that have done this. So guys who have, they all these, obviously because they've all won and randomly done it, but some big names who have won you money across every single betting market over the last little while. Eric van Rooyen would have won you $246 total over the last 12 months. Nick Taylor would have won in all 4 areas. Maybe we've got you a $0. I'm assuming there might be a few cents involved there, but that's going to be, is there cents? Yes, 46 cents for Nick Taylor, though, in the top 10 market. But you know what I'm seeing? You can use the model to go and find this kind of stuff for yourself. It's all in there. You can see how these guys have been profitable in majors. You can see how guys have been profitable in regular season events over the last 12 months, how's their returns worked out for you. Brian Harman has won just shy of $1,000 in the last 12 months across the board. Wins, top 5s, top 10s, top 20s. Now we've got some really bad golf coming up for Harman at Augusta. We'll wait and see in that department. But getting back to what we were talking about, Sahith, he's done it in every single category. Sahith Theegala in majors has played some solid golf too. He's played 6 rounds of major golf, which is insane to think about. But this is Sahith. He's our guy. He's amazing. He's very good at, I'm lying to you. What is this? This is the wrong one. Let's hide this. We've got 20 rounds of major golf for Sahith. I feel like that makes a lot more sense. So I was lying for a second. But anyway, getting back to what we're talking about. Sahith Theegala, top 5, top 10. I'm expecting great things from him. It is his second start, though, unfortunately. That, to me, is a recipe for high upside, but not a win, which is why we're going top 5, top 10. We also don't have that second place finish. I'm hoping he potentially gets it for us this week. It'll be flirting with danger if he gets that second place finish and doesn't win it. We are flirting with danger. But we got the top 5s, we got the top 10s on him. We will be capitalizing on that. We will be rostering him in DFS. I feel like he's been playing some really, really good golf. Love Sahith Theegala as a player. Love what he can do for the game. He's exciting, and he's driving the ball much, much better. And if you take a look at what Sahith Theegala's actually done well at Augusta in that one appearance, before he was driving the ball well, he drove the ball well at Augusta, which is great to see. Gained the 11th most total strokes at Augusta, which is very understandable. You know, it's a wide open venue that you can hit these roping shaped shots that Sahith likes. We can expect the same situation again, and he's actually driving the ball better. He would have graded as the 66th worst or 66th best driver of the ball in this field. But if you take a look at his driving in the last 24 or this year, he's 13th. So it's very good to see what he's up to. And funnily enough, around the green, he's losing strokes to the field for the most part, but we know what he's capable of in that department. Cool. So the caddy's mentioning here, Tiger will make the cut. Let's figure this out. Let's get back to business. Just want to make sure we are covering all of our tracks. I'm not going to be betting Russell Henley, Charles Schwartzel, Cam, Jason Day, all that stuff. Cool. Yes. Okay. So that concludes the majority of the first part of the show. Now we're going to be looking at the model you can get in the PJ Stat Buffet article. And what the use of this is I've got bets for pretty much every single person. We need to just fill out one or two more down at the bottom. There's a bunch of amateurs and random people, you know, like I'll figure that out later. To me, it's tough to find these guys. Benny on, we've still got to figure out what to do, but we've got the majority of these guys a bet. So we're going to go through this right now. Some guys can't, like, I would rather bet them to miss the cut or make the cut, but they don't have those up. Books are savages. You know, I don't feel bad about cashing in on like a free bet here or a lucky break there, because Minwoo Lee comes out with news that he's broke his finger 10 days ago. They're leaving numbers out there for top 20s, top 30s, top 40s, but they won't put numbers out there for missed cuts. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's not okay. Like, the double standard shit is not worth it. You know, like, this is what we're dealing with these bookies. So we got to take them apart. But this week is just a week about having fun. These are names that I would consider betting for top 5. I'd bet Scottie Scheffler top 5 at plus 105. I'd bet Jordan Spieth at plus 400, Will Zalatoris at plus 550, and Sahith Theegala at plus 800. Now, I've just heard that Jordan re-aggravated something of his at the Valero in a certain round or whatever. Bear that in mind. But we are just trying to do a bet based off of what we feel like the golfer would best be suited for if we had to make a bet on them. We don't want to be betting every single one of these things, but we're going to find a few that we really like and go with them. I will be looking at a Scottie Scheffler top 5 as well, along with the top 10. So that's what we're doing there. I'm out on the Jordan Spieth top 5 in general because of the news of his hand. He's also plus 300 for a first round top 10. One of Jordan's best rounds currently is the first round. If you take a look at these guys, let's see what's going on here. Jordan Spieth is all the way down here. If you take a look at his best round, it is round 4 and round 1. He gains the 12th most total strokes in round 1, and he gains the 4th most total strokes in round 4. It's these middle rounds, round 2, round 3, where he's averaging very poorly. That's not what I'm looking for from Jordan Spieth. So we're really making sure that Spieth gets capitalized on in round 1. That's where you want to be looking for Jordan Spieth. I'm going to start a column over here so I can take some timestamps down and make sure that we post those in as well. So we chatted about Jordan at about 52 minutes and Scottie and gang. So that's the top 5 market there. For top 10s this week, I'll be going back. Obviously, we went to Sahith for our OG bets, for our official documented bets. If I were to bet Jon Rahm, I'd bet him in a top 10 capacity as well as Rory McIlroy. I'd bet them both top 10s. I'd also bet Rory for an ace at 65-1. His long iron proximity has been pretty darn good. And then there's a Jon Rahm bet here that if you're looking to lay a bunch of juice, minus 330 as the top Spaniard, the only person he has to beat is Sergio Garcia and Maria Jose Olazabal. And if you take a look at what Sergio has been up to over the last little while, it hasn't necessarily been very good golf at Augusta. 3 of his last 4 starts at Augusta were missed cuts. Likely, if he even makes the cut, Jon Rahm should make the cut and finish well within the top 20 potentially. At minus 330, you're going to lay 3.3 units, but to me, let's just stack Jon Rahm on top here, just to get an understanding of how minus 330 fits into the situation. Funnily enough, Jon Rahm would have lost to him in 2022. It's the only year, but that was the only year Jon Rahm didn't finish inside the top 9. It was the only year Sergio Garcia made the cut. Crazy how coincidental things are like that. But I still think at 330, there's still a bit of a way to go about it. These guys are in 2 different realms when it comes to skill level. I think, especially with Sergio struggling around Augusta lately, it's the way to go. His game, I don't think, is the best. Like, having won is getting him back here for fun. So, yeah, leaving them alone will be Sergio. But Jon Rahm minus 330 for the Spanish top Spaniard there, because he's not losing to Jose Maria Olazabal. I don't think so. So that was at about 44. Then if we want to look at the top 20 markets, we've got some interesting names here. We can chat about Xander at minus 165. Obviously, he's done 7 consecutive top 20s in majors. We've got that plus 850 for majors. For top 20s, all 4 of them. He's done it a lot here. I think 74% of the time in majors, he's finished inside the top 20. Going back to our handy-dandy model here, which you can have at your fingertips if you go and grab that link in the description. Majors for Xander Schauffele. If you filter by majors T20 rate, he should pop up to the top with a 73% major rate. He's played in 92 rounds of major golf. That's just incredible. So that to me is a bet I'd probably make. The wind is a concern to me. I just have a weird feeling about Xander in the wind, but that's just what's up. What's up, AK? It's the freaking Masters, bro. Let's go. I am going through the bets for all 88 golfers that I have. And we've got Xander at top 20. We got Joaquin Niemann at minus 120 for a top 20. Matthew Fitzpatrick, Shane Lowry, 2 guys we've mentioned already. I'd also bet Tommy Fleetwood at plus 130 and Sungjae Im at plus 260. We haven't chatted about Sungjae Im or Tommy Fleetwood yet, but this is the portion of the show to do that. So we're going to do that right now. Sungjae Im at this golf course has played incredibly well. He's typically struggled in majors, but when it comes to doing his thing, Sungjae gets it done at Augusta. Looking at his Augusta track record, top 20% in majors, 27% of the time. No major top 5s, only 7% of the time top 10s. That's far worse than what we've seen from Sungjae in our PGA Tour regular season reality. However, in 2020, we have a top. What is going on here? Why does that not pick up Sungjae's second place finish? Interesting. We'll have to check that out. But what is going on there? Top 5. Yeah. Anyway, but what we're trying to put the point across as was that. Boom. There's all your pronouns and crap. Sungjae Im in his last 4 Masters appearances, a 2nd, an 8th, and a 16th. Power fades up. Let's go. We fire it up about the power fade, brother. Can't wait to read it. Gonna have a good one. So this is Sungjae. He's had 3 top 20s in his last 4 appearances. Now I understand that Sungjae's missed 2 cuts in a row, played nicely at the API and the Players again. Valero was a bit of a problem, but I think maybe finding his happy place at Augusta again, we'll take a gamble, especially at what? Plus 260 for a top 20. He's done it 3 of the last 4 times. If he finds a bit of form, there we go. Bob's your uncle. So a solid number for Sungjae Im for a top 20. And I've also got the total amount of bets that we've placed for each guy at the top here too, just in case you guys want to know how many of each bet we have. So top 30s, we got 6 of them. And it starts with Sam Burns, who I'm not necessarily that bullish on at all, to be honest with you. But we'll go to him in the top 30 market. I think he's got one top 30 from what I understand. Then we've got a Denny McCarthy, who's, I think, making a debut appearance. Yes, he's orange. So, by the way, orange in the model is debutant. Denny McCarthy, plus 115. Check, we've got someone busy using it right now. He's plus 115 for a top 30. Chris Kirk, plus 150 for a top 30. Sepp Straka, plus 175. Lee Hodges, plus 280. And Danny Willett, plus 550. So just to kind of wrap around on those guys, Danny Willett, when it comes to finishing inside the top 30, does it like every other Masters. So that's kind of just a little pattern I noticed with him. If our poor little model will let us filter on some guys, but Danny Willett in Masters has gone miscut, top 30, miscut, top 30, miscut. Last year he missed the cut. You know what that sounds like to me. A top 30 this year. Very random pattern. I doubt it lands up coming to fruition, but just because we want to bet every single golfer, that's the way we approach that. Danny Willett all the way down here at $6,300. And just to show you what I was speaking about, we got a miscut 25th, miscut 12th, miscut. So if he can take care of business for us entering the week, who the heck knows? For a top 30, we're getting Danny Willett plus 550. You know, that's a crazy number. It is what it is. Let's chat about Sepp Straka and Chris Kirk. Those are two options I wouldn't actually even mind looking at in DFS either. They both kind of have under-the-radar success at this venue. Not the best success, but solid. I think for their price tag and for what we're looking for both of them to do, they're going to do their job. So they're both sub-7, and we've got a 23rd from Chris Kirk in 2023, and we've got a 46th and a 30th from Sepp Straka. He's made the cut. 3 made cuts between the two of them here in their 3 appearances. Good to see. We've got some recent form as well from Sepp and Chris at the Players, potentially looking for them to roll through in that department. By the way, there have been comps of Kapalua to Augusta. I understand the difficulty of the two courses is substantially different, but there's principles and theories and elements that are very similar. I think with the gradients and the nuances of the big greens, you know, I think that's important to bear in mind. And Chris Kirk's obviously your defending Century Tournament champion. So $6,900. We're going to get these guys for top 30s. As you can see here, they're flirting with that pretty much every single time. So that's kind of why I went with those bets for Sepp and Chris Kirk. In the top 40 market, we are going to take a peek at Nick Taylor, who you'll be surprised has done some good things at Augusta, and he played here a while ago. Mathieu Pavon, I didn't really know where to go with that. The make cut for him was minus 180. It was too long, so we kind of just went to Mathieu for a top 40. Taylor Moore, Pat Mayo, we'll chat about him tomorrow's show. JT Poston, so I'm tailing Pat on the top 40 of Moore there. JT Poston also for a top 40, looking to do that. Adam Schenk making a debut appearance, and so is Grayson Murray. I think both of them playing good golf. Both do two things very well. Both Grayson in particular has got distance off the tee and accurate and such precise deft touch around the greens. So those are two very important. Those are 2 of 7 deadly sins that Spencer does in his 7 deadly spins article. We are starting to do spoonerisms here. But Adam Schenk also got tons of distance off the tee, has been playing better golf entering the week. Nick Taylor, why do we like him for a top 40? It's interesting to see what he's been up to here. Nick Taylor finished 30th, 29th in the 2020 episode of this. Now, I understand that was the easier Augusta in the spring or the fall. He's a different golfer right now. This guy has been playing great since winning in Phoenix. We've made every single cut here and there, kind of top 40s, top 20s, top 10s, top 12s, whatever. We've got all sorts of stuff going on with Nick Taylor. I feel like a top 40 at Augusta in 88 guys, I like it. I think he can do it. If you take a look at what he's done on approach, it's been amazing. He's been really, really good on approach. It's 8th on approach in this year. So that's good from Nick Taylor in a big, big way. We're going to keep staying on this side of the model because there's a lot to do with course history and recent form, which I'm kind of referring to in this part of the thing. So the 3 guys we think are going to make the cut: Jake Knapp, Charles Schwartzel, and Tiger Woods. Tiger's plus 100. The other 2 are minus 110 a pop. Schwartzel, not making his debut, neither is Tiger, obviously. Let's chat about these guys. Old Knapp, first up, making his debut appearance. You know, if he makes the cut, I feel like he can. He missed the cut at the Houston. It is what it is. You have one of those every now and then, but he's been making cuts. If he can, he can. He's got tons of distance off the tee. He's an incredible iron play. He's got tons of touch around the greens. I think Knapp stands a very good chance of making the cut. I will potentially even land up betting that personally. It's been fun watching this guy play golf, man. So he gets to play in his first major. So congratulations to Jake Knapp, who we wore this exact outfit for the last time on the show. My new article, the power. Oh, you got the power plays up as well. I'm just reading that now, AK. Sorry. So Jake Knapp to make the cut. He's been doing that at very difficult golf courses despite playing them for the first time. So give me that for Jake Knapp. Who else did we have? We had Sepp Straka. We've spoke about him. Tiger Woods, just needs to make the cut. He didn't last year. It was wet and rainy and nasty, and I think whatever. Who else did we want to chat about? We got Cam Davis coming up here for someone that asked about him way earlier in the show. But Charles. By the way, I'll be playing Charles Schwartzel in a lot of my DFS lineups. Missed the cut in 2019, but since then has finished 25th, 26th, 10th, and 50th. When he gets to this kind of a place, he tends to play some good golf. He's a defending champ. That's why he's in the field. He's cheap. He hasn't been playing great on live, I don't think. So that's Charles for you. He was also one of the few guys when I think I was looking at the Masters wins. He only had a T30 the year before, then won it. Incredible. But that was from a while ago. He won that in 2011. So that wouldn't have been, in the last 10 years. Why that never made it up in our research. So, but Schwarwell will be in it if he can just get through the cut at $6,300. That's exactly what we're looking for. So sign us up for Schwal. We're going to do him a little bit there. We're going to do Tiger and Jake Knapp. To miss the cut, I've got 17 guys. Feeling a little negative about some guys. There's some guys that I've been looking to fade in specific markets. This is the place we're going to do that. Starting with Luke List at minus 125 to miss the cut. If we take I'm actually just going to do this. You know how easy this is going to be. Take a look at this marvel of computer mastery. Yeah, we're just going to do this. Paste this in here like that. Make sure that we filter on stuff with a red background. And now we have everybody that's going to be missing the cut for us. So we can chat about it because we want to see the made cut percentages going on here. So made cuts for all of these guys in majors. Brian Harmon's made about 55% of his cuts. Bryson DeChambeau. Okay, but we're going to look at some course history stuff in recent form. I don't actually like this part of the model for this analysis. I like this part a lot more. So, Wyndham Clark, why is he going to miss the cut? Because he's a debut, and I didn't want to. His odds are too short in all the other markets to go anywhere. To look at Wyndham Clark, we've got Wyndham Clark to finish inside the top 20 at Augusta in his debut appearance at plus 100. There's a 50-50 shot that happens. Wyndham Clark hits this massive fade at a very nuanced golf course. It's going to be windy, and he's likely going to make the cut, but I'm not betting Wyndham Clark to finish top 20, or I'm not betting him to finish top 40 at minus 334. So the best value for us, we felt like going to Wyndham Clark to miss the cut at plus 225 if we were to bet a bet on every single golfer. Luke List, if you take a look, let's just go find someone that's hardly ever made the cut here, and that'll be Luke List. He's done terribly as well recently. The form is atrocious. Now we go back to Augusta where he missed the last cut. He's going to miss the cut again, we hope. We have Bubba Watson and Rio Hitsitsuni. Rio making his debut appearance along with Peter Malnati, and we spoke about Wyndham already. Nikolai Højgaard also going to miss the cut. These three guys making debut appearances. Højgaard has not been playing very good golf. Look at this. He's scraping together finishes. Now we're going to play a major for the first time at Augusta. To me, I would bet that for a miscut. Cool. If we're going to look at Rio Hitsitsuni, this guy's also been just scraping together finishes in regular season events. We're going to Augusta in a major. He doesn't have the longest ball off the tee. There's not a lot about his game that I really, really like outside the fact that he's, I don't know, accurate. Accuracy is not going to do it for you, bub. You got to make sure you know what you're up to off the tee. Rio Hitsitsuni missed the cut as well at, what is his odds here? It's, to miss the cut for Rio. Why is he not on the... Why were we speaking about him to miss the cut? Maybe we bet him for a top 40. I don't think he was available to bet for the minus to miss the cut. Peter Malnati, I don't think he's got the length to get around a wet Augusta before they make the cut in that weather. He's making his debut appearance as well, I believe. Is he? I don't know. Or at least recently. He hasn't played in the last 5 years. Playing good golf. Not amazing, but did well at courses that suit him. I don't think he's going to survive Augusta. It's too big of a golf course for him. And then a few other names. I'm going to sip on... Oh, yes, Rio. Like, out of nowhere, showing up again. Also, when you stream, when I watch other streamers, I can see the thing they're looking for while they're kind of searching for it right under their nose. Bubba Watson. We're kind of doing a deep dive of all these guys. So, Bubba. Missed his last cut. And Bubba Watson only has one top 10 on live. That's not good. So I think his game's gone. So I think we're going to fade Bubba. We're going to fade him at minus 110. Keegan Bradley, there wasn't much to go off of. We've got a 23rd and a 43rd in course history. But he's missed 3 of his last 4 cuts. So he's playing pretty poorly right now. We'd imagine that continues at Augusta. Maybe he fires it up. Obviously, some of these guys are going to make the cut, but, we think Keegan's not. These are also basically DFS plays as we're going through this. I'm out on Keegan. Adam Hadwin also, I don't think he's ever played here before. I guess he has. Where is he at? Missed the cut in 2020. So got that going for him. Let's speak about some bigger names. Ludwig. So Ludwig, I tweeted something out about Ludwig. It's on my thread, on my pinned thread on X at the Model Maniac. Ludwig's 5 top 10s that he's had in his career on the PGA Tour. The RSM, Pebble Beach, the Players, Sanderson Farms, and there's one other situation. Short golf, John Deere Classic. All of them are like 7,300 yards or less. The Sanderson Farms is 7,400 yards. Augusta's playing 75-55 this year. I'm not saying he's going to suck, but I'm not saying he's going to play well. I'm not saying he's going to suck, but I'm saying he's not going to play well. It's his debut appearance, and the market for Ludwig is done. His debut appearance in his first major is minus 110 for a top 20. Ludwig Ober. What are we doing? No, can't do that. I'm sorry. Despite having played well, but all the good finishes are on these shorter venues. He's a short course specialist so far. That's what his DNA is turning into. In a DFS world, he's going to be ultra chalky. I'm out at $9,100. I think he's going to be very popular. We've seen Tiger, Cam Smith, Phil Mickelson, bunch of dudes, all who have multiple wins at this golf course, finished 46th, missed the cut, 38th. Like hardly any of these greats that have succeeded around Augusta finished high up on their board. Jordan Spieth, yes, obviously took to this golf course like a duck in water, but it's crazy to think about. Colin Morikawa. Let's take a look at what Colin's been up to over the last little while. Miscut at the Arnold Palmer Invitational, where they literally cut like 10 people. 45th at the Players, and then 75th at the Valero Texas Open. I did a nice post about Colin speaking about his long iron proximities. If you take a look at what once made Colin Morikawa was his strokes gained from 200 and out. In this field, it's the 32nd best only. His proximity from 200 and out is 51st in the field. This is the last 12 months. It's not good. His wedges and short irons are pretty solid, from 150 to 200, looking good. From 100 to 150, not too shabby. But the long irons are gone. They shot. His ability to connect with the golf ball with a 5 iron and longer has proven to be too difficult for Colin Morikawa since having a back injury. He's had a back injury, so that can impact those longer irons. They're a bit more tricky to hit. The room for misses is smaller. At this golf course, you've got to be able to make sure you can handle your long irons. About 30% of your shots are coming from that range. He's not playing good golf right now. He's just not playing good golf. So I want to see Colin Morikawa miss the cut. Give me Colin Morikawa missing the cut at plus 240. Fun bets. These are all fun. Bryson DeChambeau, Benjamin Button of the PGA at Augusta. The guy shows up to Augusta. I think he finishes, 29th? Then finishes 34th, 46th, and then has missed his last 2 cuts at this golf course. His debut appearance for Bryson at Augusta, I know we're doing a bit of a mini research situation here, but he played really well in his first or second start. 21st in his first start, 38th in his next start, then he finished 29th in 2019. So played great, and now he can't make a cut. This will be his 3rd consecutive cut missed at Augusta if that happens. Hopefully it does. That'll be fun. Brian Harman. In this kind of weather, Brian's been kind of, I don't know, missed the cut at the Valspar. Yeah. He's just never played well here. He's missed his last 2 cuts. So maybe it happens again. It likely doesn't, but maybe. I think, again, these are odds that we are talking about for Brian Harman to miss the cut is plus 190. Those are fun numbers to bet. Tyrrell Hatton, he's missed 1 cut and finished no better than 18th in his 5 appearances in the last 5 years. He's bordered and flirted with missing the cut. 52nd, 56th, must have gone backwards over the weekend. Out on him entirely for DFS. The upside is just not there at this golf course. He's just proven that time after time. Got a new caddy on the bag, blah, blah, blah. So that's Tyrrell's situation. Also, Liv Defector, who the hell knows what he's been up to. Ricky Fowler last played here in 2020. Ricky Fowler missed the cut at the Valero Texas Open. Ricky Fowler finished 68th at the Players after barely making the cut. Nothing in Ricky's recent history is better than 35th. This is a major. This is Augusta. I understand Ricky's played well here in the past, but he's not playing good enough right now for me to think he's going to make the cut. Ricky Fowler to miss the cut at even money. Sergio Garcia, we're fading him with his 3 missed cuts in the last 4 starts. And pretty much that's kind of where we're going with all of these guys. Nikolai Højgaard, debut appearance, not playing the best. So these are all fades for us basically in DFS as well. I think they're going to be chalky, some of them also just not good course fits in their debut appearance. That's a fun little situation there. So those are the miscutters, the first round leaders. Let's take a peek at these guys. Dustin Johnson, 35-1. Justin Thomas, 40-1. Eric van Rooyen, 70-1. And Emiliano Grillo, 90-1. These are all guys we like that can get hot with the flat stick and get hot here and there. We don't mind Justin for a top 5 as well at plus 850, and DJ for a top 10 at plus 360. And then we're going to go to Grillo for a top 20 at plus 320. Jinx Jedi, what's up, my man? Didn't seem too confident talking about him in the Masters press conference. What, Victor? Yeah, dude, he's all over the place right now. He's on his 8th coach of his career. He's changed his 2nd coach of the year. It's not been good for Victor. I think with him, he made a massive mistake switching around with coaches because his game literally spontaneously fell apart at the same time. Not ideal. Not ideal. So, yeah. Victor, tough times. First round leaders, though. DJ. If you take a look at what DJ's done in the last few majors, like you feel like every time you see him early in the week, he's like, oh, DJ's got a chance. Guys at the top of the leaderboard. Whittles away over the weekend. I feel like this is the way to deploy Dustin Johnson this week, is in the first round. Get him out there early, take advantage of his major upside, major ability, but potentially avoid being a victim of him whittling away like we've seen in the past. Justin Thomas, I like playing him in the first round, particularly in this wind, because he's one of the best wind players in the world, in my opinion. I like him for a top 5 at plus 850, and I like him to finish first after round 1 at 40-1. I think it's going to be windy as balls in round 1. JT will obviously love that kind of stuff. EVR as a 70-1 play is just because he's been so dominant in round 1, and Grillo mainly kind of chasing that top 20 first round leader situation. Grillo's been very good in round 1 last little while as well. First round leader for top 5s. Let's chat about Harris English, who we're going to be betting for a top 5 first round leader. He's shown up at the top of leaderboards repeatedly in the first round. The same with Ryan Fox. After missing the cut last week, I think he shot -2 in the first round and then missed the cut. Cam Davis also showing up in the mix here. We kind of like Cam Davis early in the week, So that's where we like to go there with those guys for the first round leader. First round leader top 5s. First round leader top 10 that we haven't spoken about. We would have gone with Jordan Spieth as well, but that wrist injury or hand injury is concerning. Cameron Young, plus 450 for a first round top 10. This guy has been in the top of the leaderboard after every round 1 in regular events, and now we get a major. So that's where we're going to go with Cameron Young. Minwoo Lee, now that I've heard he's broken his finger 10 days ago, I'm out on the first round leader top 10, but that's where I was going to attack his market. And Jason Day as well. I will be playing Jason Day in DFS. I'll also be playing him for a first round leader top 10 at plus 500. Jason Day in round 1, I think, has typically been better. Let's take a look. His first rounds have been his best, which is good. It means you can make the cut more often than not, but it means your upside gets limited. Jason Day in round 1, 35th in strokes gained, then 63rd in round 2, 41st in round 3, and then sucks it up on Sundays typically. So that's the problem with Jay Day, but we're taking advantage of his best round 1 for that bet. So we like him at Augusta as well. I mean, we've got good finishes here in the past. We got a 5th and a 39th last year when he was actually playing really well and then got vertigo and still finished 39th, which is really incredible. So that's what we're doing with these dudes. First round leader, top 20s. These are like the punts of the world. Siwoo Kim, minus 250. Interesting. That seems really short. I don't know if that's a correct number. Check it out. But we like him for a first round leader, top 20. Patrick Cantley, plus 137. Max Homa, Adam Scott. All guys we don't really trust that are at the high end of the board from a pricing perspective. But maybe we get lucky early in the round and then they go from there. Eric Cole, don't mind him for a top 20 early in his Augusta debut. Lucas Glover as well. And then we spoke about Freddie Couples at 14-1. So we like those guys for first round top 20s, big time. Then top Great Britain and Ireland. Justin Rose, plus 700. I believe it's him versus a few of the, let's pull it up. I can tell you right now. It's Rory, it's Shane Lowry, it's Matty Fitz, and a few other Englishmen. But Justin Rose has played really well at Augusta. I don't think he's going to catch as much steam as he typically does. Look at this. He putts so well here. He's played like ass this year. I think potentially we can, in the major situation, I'm willing to go to this guy to take advantage of a 7th place finish, a 16th place finish, a 23rd place finish. There's a potential miscut there, like we've seen 2 out of the 5 times, but Justin Rose he's amazing around this golf course. He putts so well on these greens. So that's why we like him as the top Brit and GBI kind of guy. We got some aces. Love betting the aces, and I also want to chat about this bet in particular. There's a Bet Rivers bet that's got plus 100 for an ace, and I think DraftKings now has a hole-in-one prop for plus 120 on Sunday for hole 16, I think, or just a hole-in-one on Sunday in general. Anything plus money at that 16th hole on Sunday is definitely worth a go. The odds in general, I think when I was hitting these things 3 years ago, when Corey Connors hit the hole-in-one, it was like 14-1 for a hole-in-one. And the problem was these guys just aren't doing that right now in the sportsbook markets. It's like 6-1, 7-1 for hole-in-ones on either day, where it was like 14 on the first, the final 2 days when the field gets cut. So the odds go up as there's less golfers to hit. But aces, guys that have good shot proximity from 200. I'll just go filter on it for you right now. Good shots. What I actually did with this one, plus 200 for good and proximity from 200 and out. I went less than 20. And then I went less than 20 for good shots. Good shots is when you gain over half a stroke on a single approach shot. That is a good shot for you on the PGA Tour. So that means you're hitting it close. So guys that are getting their ball close on average and guys that are hitting it close a lot. Rory, Xander, Hideki, Tony, Cam Young, Matty Fitz, Sahith, Tom Kim, and Maronk. What did we choose for aces? Shane Lowry, Rory, Hovland, Matsuyama, Finau, Connors, and Woodland, as well as Xander. So we've got all these guys at like 65-1, 70-1. That's where we're going to go for the aces. That's how we're approaching these dudes. We might have bet them somewhere else too, but always got to root for a guy for the aces. Bogey free round. I don't have anybody. I was eyeing out a Russell Henley, but the first 2 rounds of golf, the wind, man, it's making it seem rough. We'll have to wait and see there. But the top senior, we've already spoken about that. That's Phil Mickelson at minus 140. At FanDuel, you can get it at minus 120. Top debutants, my 2 favorite debutants, Steven Yeager and Austin Eckroat. When you take a look at these 2 guys, Steven Yeager off the tee, gee whiz, folks. It's been fun to see, and he hits it so far now. His long irons are good. His short game around the greens is tidy. I like what Yeager's been up to. He's also played in a few majors, and has some really good short game in those. So that's good to see. We like everything about Jaeger doing his thing in those rounds. It's only been 8, but it is what it is. He's still played nicely in them, and he's playing good golf right now. So he grades out really well for me. In fact, I think he popped up as like the 39th, 40th guy in my model. So I like him. Patrick Cantley is orange, and I don't know why. He's not a debutant. Yeah, so debut odds are shit was my note for Ludwig. Akshay, the odds are also crap. The hype is through the roof right now. Then our other guy was Austin Eckroat. He's 22nd in my model. So out of all my debutants, he's like the best. So I had to follow this, and the reason why he pops up as a very good option here, despite not having played here before, is the strokes gained in majors in the 6 rounds he's played was pretty solid. That's going to help him a bit. He was very good off the tee. His approach play this year has been great, which means that we're going to see weighted good shots at Augusta. He's 4th in the field. He avoids the poor shots pretty nicely, top 10 rate as well. Hits tons of greens, and the strokes gained is also pretty solid inside the top 30. So there's a lot to like. My model really likes the good shot numbers because it affords you a lot of birdie opportunities. In DFS, that's what you're looking for, especially around Augusta. It's not easy to make those. That's why we like Austin Eckroat. So good from 150 to 200. It's incredible. Where he struggles is inside of 100 to 150, which you don't typically see as much of at this golf course. So if Eckroat can keep it going, we like him a lot. And I think we found at ESPN, you can get a 22 to 1 on Eckroat for the top. I like that. It's the same odds as Brooks. It's the same odds as Brooks for Austin Eckroat to be the top debutant. Now that's fair. Those are some nice odds. Like you taking away Scottie Scheffler, everybody. Like Wyndham Clark isn't God. Like he's not going to just show up here and automatically beat Austin Eckroat. There's a chance this happens. 22 to 1, fair, is very fair in my opinion. I'd also bet Scottie Scheffler as the top former winner if you were in the mood for that. It eliminates Brooks from the mix, which is good. That's where you want to. And Rory also eliminates Rory. And you're barely getting worse odds from his outrights. So don't mind him for that. And you're also going up against a whole bunch of the old guys too for Scottie. And I think he's plus like 100 or plus 140 or something in that market. Top amateur is going to be our guy from South Africa, Christo Lamprecht. He's plus 170 and hits it a million miles. He's the reason they obviously in here is because they've won these amateur events around the world. He's also been in college, I think, at Texas Tech or somewhere down there, or Georgia, Texas, or Georgia somewhere. He's a Southerner, South African boy playing in the South of America, doing his thing. So I like him a lot. The other guys, I don't know anything about. So I just went with he's the favorite in that market, plus 170. Let's see what he can do. Another guy we're going to go to is Victor in the top Nordic market. Would you, this is the stuff. This is the thing. I need to take a second to get on my soapbox about this again. Top Nordic. Let's find this nationality parlay. This is an atrocity, folks. Nationalities, Nordic. We have got Ludwig Aubert playing in his debut at Augusta. And he's got shorter odds to be the top Nord than Victor Hovland, who's almost won this tournament a few times. Victor Hovland at this golf course. What does his pedigree look like here? Vic. Oh, please, come on now. It's an atrocity. This should not be tolerated. Victor Hovland for the top Norwegian at plus 160 is yes. You cannot tell me that Ludwig should be favored over him. You cannot tell me that. This is a major, folks. This is a totally different situation than what Ludwig's been up to, diddly winking around the RSM Classic and stuff like that. The model's frozen on me. So that's what this did. But we'll kind of wrap it up here anyway. So yeah, soapbox done. Can't handle the fact that those odds are shorter than Victor's. I know he's been playing badly. This is a major. Victor will step it up. The lowest tournament score of a live golfer, Cameron Smith, 9-1. That's where I'm going with him. I don't know if he's going to bring the consistency we're looking for, but this guy can make birdies with the best of them. He can scramble exceptionally well in the wind. He's a birdie machine when he needs to. 9-1 to have the lowest tournament round. Whatever, let's see what he can get up to. I'll take a gamble on my boy Cam to have one of the best rounds of the day, or to have the best round of the tournament and still not necessarily play the greatest. That's very much on the cards. We've got Thorbjorn Olsen, which is going to be the top Dane, which means he only has to beat Nikolai Højgaard, who we've decided is going to miss the cut. So Thor has actually played really nicely at Augusta. I think he's made all 3 of his cuts, which is good. Top Spanish, remember we mentioned John Rahm. Top player in final group, to be the player in the final group, Xander. You know how this goes? Xander, when he's as chalky as all get up right now, if he lands up playing well this week, he's going to find himself in the final group, isn't he? He's going to have played all 3 rounds amazingly, and he's going to be in the final group, plus 850 to be in the final group. Then he's going to finish 3rd or 4th again. That's just going to be how it goes. Maybe he wins it this year, maybe he doesn't. But I'm kind of banking on his ability to find himself hanging around there, and plus 850 to be in the final group is a fun bet. You don't get to make that kind of a bet that often. For the top live golfer, I went with Brooks at 6-1. Feel like that's the way to bet him. The top lefty, we went with Akshay. And a bogey-free round, we're going to do Russell any day. Bogey-free round any day, Russell Henley, 22-1. Russell Henley's bogey avoidance, I think, has been pretty badass lately. I might be wrong, though. Oh, yeah, the model's frozen, remember? So that's the situation. It's the goddamn Masters, folks. Let's have ourselves a week. Let's gamble responsibly, but don't be shy to throw a few extra bucks at the Masters to have some fun. It's worth the price of admission. It's worth the price of entertainment, just putting these bets down to enjoy them and watch hole-in-ones try happen. So that's what we're looking forward to. Let's have a great week. Let's enjoy it. I'm taking Thursday and Friday off. I can't wait to relax and watch the Masters. Use code MASTERS at rotoballerpga.com to get everything you could wish for. We've got it all for you. We've got the models, we've got the articles, we've got the Discord, we've got the squad. Our team is amazing over there. I want to give them a shout out. It's the Masters. Give Tee Off Sports at Tee Off Sports a follow on X. I'm assuming you already do because you got more followers than me. At Tour Picks has got more followers than me. He's Joe Idoni, another awesome contributor to our squad. Please give Joe Nicely a follow on Twitter at Joe Nicely, a very, very, very instrumental guy in every bit of success we've had at Rotoballer so far. So thank you, Joe. And the rest of the gang, we've got at Flag Hunting. That's who you should give a follow. My man Ian and Maddie Mills, who's part of the Flag Hunting. I mean, not the flag, the Draws and Fades podcast. So we got it all going on. We've got so much going on. We've got our awesome news desk, guys. Let's see what we can get up to. It's the Masters. Let's have ourselves an amazing time watching, winning, betting, enjoying, relaxing, seeing all the best live PGA guys all playing at the same time. Hopefully the weather cooperates. Hopefully we can just get spoiled with a gem of a major to start the year. I can't wait for that. So please join me in thanking everybody at Rotoballer by hitting the like button as we get out of here. Really, really appreciate you guys. Even if you have been listening on Twitter, get your ass over here onto the YouTubes and give it a like so we can get this thing popping. Let's have ourselves an awesome time, folks. Catch you guys this week for the Sunday research stream.